Hello. Finally, I managed to get the new generations of Noble Audio True Wireless in-ear monitors. I got both Falcon 2 and Falcon Pro, but I decided to save Falcon Pro for later and start with Falcon 2 as kind of appetizer between the main course. So, some time ago, and actually pretty long time ago, I've tested first version of Falcon, and at that time it was a pretty noticeable boost in terms of what true wireless models can deliver from the audiophilic perspective. Natural, resolving, with good design and so on. It was a pretty nice model with few issues, but second version designed, created to fix them all, so it's improvement in terms of connectivity, in terms of firmware update. It works with Control app. Actually, for the first version they released the firmware update utility, but I wasn't able to get it working, so for me first version was just without companion app. And still they use nice 6mm dynamic driver with some kind of, I don't remember, but was it carbon nanotube or something like that, so nice coating and so on. And what is interesting, carbon, diamond-like carbon, so you can see it's good. They promise superior call quality, fast charging, 15 minutes for 2 hours playtime, and actually battery lifetime here is nice. It's about 5 hours or even more from single charge at maximum volume, and if you reduce volume to 70%, it can last for about 8 hours or even more, 10 hours stated, but I didn't got 10, but still it's a pretty nice figures. Some water protection rating stated here, if I remember right, IPX5 or even IPX7, so don't remember exact figures, but you can check out on the Noble's website. I will add links to the description, so you can see aptX supported and even aptX adaptive to improve the connectivity and quality. And Qualcomm True Wireless mirroring technology. If you have modern Snapdragon chipsets, you can get benefits. So you can see that this model is feature packed, but at the same time price, you know, when first Falcon was released, $150 was too expensive for True Wireless model, if it's not made by Apple. But currently $130, it's a pretty good offer for a model with such set of features, and I hope that sound is also done on that level that was in the first Falcon. You know, it's pretty logical to expect that sound would be at least as good as in first version. So in that case, that price $150, or sorry, not 150 actually, price of Falcon 2 is 130, so it's even a bit cheaper and it's a really good offer. So enough talks, let's have a closer look. Package is pretty close to the previous versions. Mine is a bit weared off during delivery, but still looks pretty pleasant. So we remove the top cover. Nice excessive manual that will show you how everything is working here. Earpieces were here, and case for charging and storage. I already put them in case, of course. I spent some time with them, so I already tested them, and I know the answer about the sound, but I won't spoil it now. So, and here you can actually see what you can expect. So pouch, charging cable, and two pair of tips, and actually Noble promised, Noble delivered. I don't know why this velvet pouch is here, but it's better to have accessories than not have. Standard USB Type-C cable, so it's pretty obvious, and two additional set of tips, so special tips created for this model. I've read some complaints about the tips, that they fit not for everyone, but I got good results with these tips. But luckily, if you don't like them, you can experiment with different tips. So you can see that they are short or thin. I don't know what is that vertical dimension, so they're smaller than regular tips, but they have a pretty wide horn, so to improve the sound, to improve the sonics of this model. So for me, in terms of fit, this model is good, but let's wait for that. Case is pretty small, looks nice, attractive, black and interesting combination of pearl-like blue, or I don't know how to name this color. My wife knows tons of different color names, like for me it's all red, and she knows like 50 names of the different tints of red. Probably it's some woman's secret. And inside, earpiece is located in a bit angled way, and it's actually good because they fitting nicely with third-party tips if you'd like to experiment. But I like them with the stock ones. But of course, ears are different, so there is no single answer for everyone. In terms of design, they are similar to the previous version. Interesting combination of black and that blue, probably it's navy blue or something like that, so you can see that design reminds the case. Interesting touches, but it's actually what we can expect from the company that creates all that beautiful custom in-ear monitors. And they have bit unusual shape, so they will protrude from your ears and will look a bit strange. But actually nowadays I think that people are used to the true wireless models, and everyone will understand that it's earphones and not that thing that was in Frankenstein's neck. They have a really extended spout, so for me they are comfortable, but some people told that they need to experiment with third-party tips to get better fit, but for me it's good. And actually what is also good here, thanks to this extended spout, they have a pretty nice passive sound isolation. They don't have active noise cancelling, but passive isolation is nice, and even at the noisy street they will reduce the outer noise in a pretty noticeable way, and that's good for them. But in order to hear what's going on around you, because it's really they require some time to be put in ears and then be pulled back. Of course, it's better to do that gently. To hear what's going on outside you, there is a hearer's remote, so just click button and you will hear what's going on. Connection quality is really nice, so Qualcomm QCC 3020 does a job, and aptX adaptive, if it's supported by your phone, also helps that. Even when connection is really poor, when there is some wall between you and source, for example, they reduce quality but doesn't drop the connection. So the only condition when they have some issues, it's when there are a lot of Wi-Fi networks outside you, like in shopping mall or something like that, but it's common for the Bluetooth models to experience troubles there. Delay is pretty small, it can be spotted with the spatial test videos, but in general its lip sync is pretty good. So microphone test I will add here, and of course they support all that features of true wireless models: disconnect, connect back, automatic reconnect, and so on. And also their background noise is on the pretty low level, so in all that aspects that we can expect for the true wireless model, they behave really nicely. So let me show you the companion app. I wasn't able to update the firmware for the first version of Noble Falcon, so I couldn't use their companion. I couldn't use companion app with them, but second version already bears the updated firmware, so it's working. And here it is when you start it, and when you connect earbuds, it will show the remaining charge in both earpieces, model name. So general settings, it's here you can change the language between English and Japanese and see the firmware version. Also here you can change the configuration of keys. You can select what's going on double click and triple click. For the left earbud, by default it's changing the volume, and for the right how to see, yes, for the right it's next and previous track, and single clicks are reserved. For the right earpiece it's play pause, and for the left earpiece it's hear through mode. When you click it, it beeps, and then it retranslates the sound of your exterior. Sometimes it's really useful when you want to hear someone or something. You can select firmware upgrade, but actually it's up to date. You can activate hear through function here, and also it shows aptX codec and which earpiece microphone is working. Also there is an equalizer, but to activate it you will need to start some music playback. And when music is playing, you can go to the equalizer settings, and here you can select master gain, you can reduce it, and you can change the equalizer settings. So if you like beats sound, you can do it this way and you will get it. But actually modern beats are better than that. So application is pretty simple, but it's working and allows you to change the basic settings, so it's better to have it than not to have. Here is a traditional microphone test. I'm recording this part of the video using Noble Falcon 2 built-in microphones, so you can see case looks nice. Earphones are in my ears, so microphone is in the normal position, and I won't apply any gain correction, equalization, so this part of the video will give you an idea of how the microphones sound. And of course about the sound. So first version of Falcon was natural monitoring and a bit on the brighter side, and here Noble changed the tuning a little bit. They shifted the signature a bit towards more weighty signature, they improved the bass depth, and they added a bit more weight to the sound, so this model sounds a bit less focused on the micro contrast, but at the same time bit more natural thanks to the proper weight distribution. So while first version could be considered as a bass light one, or a bit bass light, not too much, but on the lighter side. This one has a slight accent on the low frequencies, and it has improved depth, so lows here go as deep as possible with aptX codec and deliver nice amount of punch and kick. So despite small 6mm driver, they can deliver enough of punch and impact. And at the same time resolution is normal, of course, for the true wireless dynamic drivers, so they are pretty nice with acoustic instruments, they are pretty good in terms of texturing and all that other stuff. I could select something like Music Antwoord as an example here, but I decided to go in the other direction, and here is the Antwoord Coochie, and this model plays this track pretty nicely. All that deep bass line sounds pretty impactful. It's not the bass head model probably, but amount of low frequencies is more than enough, at least for me. But at the same time, with acoustic instruments, with all that rich stuff that requires resolution and well-controlled low frequencies, they are nice. Of course, don't expect the performance of the wired models, but for the true wireless it's pretty nice. Mids are in between of weighty and resolving, so a bit less resolution comparing with first model, but at the same time bit more weight, so it sounds more natural, and the instruments have better body as well as vocal and all that stuff. So it's not as sharp as first version was, so bit more relaxed signature, but sounds pleasant, and still the detalization is nice. Still not at the wired models level, but it's good. Imaginary stage is slightly above average both in width and in depth, and for the true wireless model it's a pretty good results. They are good in representing emotions, they have a good dynamics, and of course they are not super critical for the quality of records. So in this aspect they deliver pretty good amount of value. And as an example for the mid frequencies, I've got Pain of Salvation, Tongue of God, and this track is a really tough test for the earphones, starting with intro and then drum part and emotional vocal, lot of stuff here, and it's a really beautiful tracks, but this model shows this beauty without problems and delivers it. Of course, to unveil the full potential you will need something with wired connection, but for the true wireless model, so okay, I will stop saying that for true wireless model, you already understand that we need to give a handicap for this model being true wireless, so I will stop saying that. So they deliver this track on a really good satisfactory level. Actually, in Russian, satisfactory is bad word because it's like below good. It's not bad, but below good. So on the good level. Not sure if English has this connotation or not. And treble. Treble is slightly accented, probably to balance the low frequencies. Not too much, but probably if you're super treble sensitive, you need to consider that. But actually there is an equalizer, so if you don't like the treble, you can definitely reduce it. But in the default position, it's slightly accented, and it's a good thing in this case. Of course, extension is just about average, or even slightly below average, because of aptX codec here. But resolution is normal, and attacks and decays are close to natural. Don't expect rich layering, of course, don't expect superb overtone saturation, but basic treble is performing really well. And as an example, Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin's signature guitar with that fun echo, with that spacious 3D effect that their records have, and percussions. It's a good test for the treble, and this model passes it pretty nicely. So, to summarize once again, a bit more fun sounding than first version, with a bit more V-shaped signature, but still pretty technical with a good amount of details. There is not much sense in speaking about the comparisons, so I already highlighted the differences from the first model, and probably the only model that can be compared here that I've tested, it's MIFO 07. MIFO is a bit more resolving, but a bit bass light and sounding a bit drier than this model. And of course, for example, Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless sounds better, but their price is much higher. So, and models from the more affordable segment, all models that I have tested, they are inferior comparing to this one. So, if you need a resolving model, but at the same time with good technical specifications, with all features that is necessary for the modern true wireless in-ear monitors, Falcon 2 is a quite good offer. Bit less focus on technicality, but at the same time much more fun and much more enjoyable to listen to. So let's see how the Falcon Pro behaves. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.